Welcome into lesson 46. Today we are talking about contrary and parallel motion in voice leading. When successive chords do not have a common tone, such as an F major triad moving to a G major triad, traditional voice leading technique dictates that chord voices should move in the opposite direction as the bass. This movement is known as contrary motion. A more contemporary sound, as found in pop and jazz, is parallel motion, in which the voices move in the same direction as the bass. Either way, each voice should move to the next closest position. Okay, so what that's really saying, if we think back to previous lesson, lesson 44 on voice leading, we're trying to keep common tones between voices, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So how do we get to the next voice that's as small as distance as possible, the closest voice? And how do we do that? And there are really two ways we can do that. Two basic ways right now. Contrary motion. So if the bass is moving up, the voices move down. And in parallel motion, the bass is moving up, the voices in the treble clef move up. So they're moving in opposite directions or they're moving in similar directions. Traditionally, in a more classical Western Bach traditional theory, thinking of Bach, Bach really comes to mind. I keep saying Bach, Bach, Bach. He's the father of harmony and how we compose and where we get our rules from. So in that setting, the contrary motion is going to be the more traditional way to do things, but as I said, in a pop and a jazz setting, a parallel motion, things moving in the same direction, is valid as well. Okay, so let's look at our contrary motion first. So we have an FAC, so we have an F triad going to a G triad. So we need an FAC, but those do not fit within our GBD. Okay, so the bass is moving up, and we're going to do this in contrary motion. So the top is going to move down. And right now, find the nearest voice. So I'll zoom in here. So the closest place for that E to go is down. Oops, excuse me. So the closest place for that F to go is down to a D. Closest place for the A is down to a G, and the C comes down just a half step to the B. So these are all moving down in opposite motion. The bass is going up, the voices up top are moving down. So we're in contrary motion. Let's look at this in parallel motion. So the bass is still going up to the G. Pretty easy here. We're going up, so we need to go up this way as well. The F comes up to a G, the A comes up to a B, and the C comes up to a D.